And we are live. Only 30 seconds early this time. Normally I'm a little bit earlier than that, but this time just 30 seconds earlier. Here to discuss all amazing things coming up with My Hero Academia Season 7, Episode 146 or Episode 8 of this season, 2 Flash Flyers starring the Todoroki family. It's gonna be messy. Y'all gonna love it. All right, guys. Brent here back with Geek Variants. We cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, My Hero Academia, one of the big three, coming back in strong here in the next 15 minutes. And just for those who are watching post, the usual headliner that I always give. Will won't be here. We'll miss him, but he'll be here covering Kaiju number 8 in the morning. We'll be back together for Demon Slayers tomorrow live stream and House of the Dragon tomorrow, which will be another amazing episode of that. And also, just for proper clarifications, we do not have legal rights, authorities, permissions, or allowances in order to post the episode within the background here. The watch along, you watch on your phone, we watch here, or you watch on your computer, however it works. We watch the episodes together, we discuss all things together, get to know all things geek. It is a watch party, not a watch along. Apparently, there's a significant distinction between the two, and I've had a couple of people post episode just kind of like, hey, what the heck is all this all about? Well, just wanted to make sure everything was spelled out clearly, plainly, and so that everyone understood. So no one's here under false pretenses. We at Geek Variants don't believe in doing stuff like that. We're not going to give you teasers. We're not going to give you all these big outlandish promises. We're just going to tell you straight up what we believe, what we think is going to happen, and enjoy all things geek as we always seem to tend to do together, which I am very much looking forward to doing. So, without further ado, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for another amazing live stream. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. You have been making this channel so amazing of late. And friendly reminder, we're still on our quest for the 1,000 subscriber mark. We'll have 1,000 subscriber giveaway here on the YouTube. If you're over on Twitch, still working our way slowly but surely up in order to get to some great numbers. Thanks to you, the viewer. Subscribing and hitting the follow button are both free. But look, here's the information you guys really truly care about. Today's episode, Shoto. Time to shine, bud. It is put up or shut up. And unfortunately, as you know, with all things involving Endeavor and his family that he has damaged beyond any reasonable doubt, Shoto is going to have to come pick up all the pieces for his son. His son is bearing the weight of his sins, the weight of his burdens, all the crimes he committed, all the child abuse he straight up had. Endeavor is the greatest villain in the entire My Hero verse. It's not even debatable. He is the biggest POS out here in this show, in this universe, and he was blessed to have a son like Shoto who was able to be kind, patient, and understanding to an absolute fault. And now he's going to have to try and bring Toya, or as everyone loves to refer to him, myself especially, Dabi, back into the fold. And Dabi is damaged. Let's just put that as our nice little caveat. He is someone who has been hurting. He is someone who has been abused beyond reasonable doubt, put unreasonable expectations on, thrust into just heinous situations, and forced to become something that isn't human, that is something even beyond himself, beyond his capabilities, beyond his limits. He went beyond plus ultra in the sense of heinous, horrible, and stupid. Endeavor pushed Toya beyond anything a child should ever have to go through. And the manga, so much darker than the anime as far as the details go. And the anime is not really skimping on a lot of things. They've done a fantastic job both with the animation style and with being true to the source material. There's been very little that has been changed, tinkered with, or even adjusted in any way, shape, or form. And if this goes the exact way that the manga goes, you guys are going to be in for a heck of a fight. We have been wanting this brother versus brother fight ever since we figured out that, Toya slash Dabi is related to Shoto. His showdown with Endeavor was one of the most legendary moments of, I want to say that was season 5. And sure, Endeavor genuinely tried to fix some things, but at the same time, seeing your son as a, well, world class criminal who's basically the world's greatest arsonist at this moment in time, yeah, that can kind of hurt the family name, hurt the family image a little bit. He spouted all of your secrets to everybody and everything that would actually listen to him. And now your reputation is absolutely ruined. And like Stain probably has a better reputation than you do. Stain, the guy who was literally taking out people left, right, and center, and then, bragging about how none of these people are heroes because unfortunately, Stain was right. There were so few people that were just heroes for the sake of being heroes. They were heroes because there was money involved, because there was fame involved, because there was glory involved. They weren't heroes because, hey, I wanted to do the right thing. I wanted to help the common man. I wanted to be able to do the right thing just because it is the right thing to do. And as twisted as it is in this universe, very few people, other than maybe these three and All Might, truly seem to want to do the great thing for doing the great thing. And I'll probably put Uraraka on that list because she wants to do the right thing even when it's tough to do. She set up for Deku at a time and place in which it was not a popular decision. Deku was an outcast. Deku was a wreck. He was running around trying to protect his friends at the cost of his own personal health, his personal sanity, his personal happiness. Deku was doing it all. He was bearing the weight of the world and the sins in which every other person who had all full one for all beforehand. I always get those two mixed, those Freudian slips. Everyone who had his powers before him, he's had to bear the weight of their sins, their failures, their inability to get over the hump and get the job done. And it's super tragic to see that, this kid who grew up without a dad is now having to make choices where he's basically raising everyone else around him and having to elevate who they are internally. And he's doing so with a smile, and he feels absolutely no shame in order for doing so. And I gotta say, for a hero that I did not like openly, I openly did not like early seasons Deku. He has grown on me so much because of how well he was written. He's someone that just strives to be great for the sake of being great. And he's someone who's always pushing others to be their absolute best. And that's absolutely fantastic to say because how often do we see heroes, whether it be Marvel, whether it be DC, whether it be Star Wars, which, I just say the word Star Wars and people are triggered lately. And yeah, I'm one of them. But you just say heroes from all these different verses, and you can think of, oh yeah, this guy's just was a hero because it was just happenstance, and he just happened to be brought on the right side. So and so did it because they just wanted a little bit more credibility. So and so just did it because they really wanted to like clear himself from the guilt and the weight of his sins prior. In like the case of Iron Man, where he was like he was an arms dealer, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know what, I need to like fix what the heck's going on here. I created this problem. I need to be the one to fix it. And then there's Deku. He just wanted to be a hero because he wanted to be like his hero. And then it turns out he went above and beyond in so many regards. And he was able to wow his hero, which, sometimes they say never meet your heroes. Deku, if he never met All Might, he may have lived a normal life. Not a good one, mind you, because he was quirkless in a society where quirks are kind of super important. It's like trying to grow up in a world where athletics are the main import of the entire world, and you're just unathletic as all get out. You're just, say like me, you're just unable to ascertain great, glorious sporting heights. Deku would have been just your everyday grocer. He would have been a regular dude. He would have been someone who was unimportant, uninspiring, but just a good individual because, you can never have too many of those. He would have been Steve Rogers before the serum. He just would have been someone who wanted to do the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing. And then even when he's been thrust in this horrible situation because of all the elders around him pushing him to be this, pushing him to be that, forcing him to become this, forcing him to become that. Master this power here. You need to master this strategy here. You need to be able to be a symbol of hope for you and your classmates, and you need to carry it with an absolute no remorse whatsoever. And he does so. No complaints, no whining, no moping, no nothing. Deku is just someone who gets the job done, and I gotta give him mad props for it. Bakugo is still one of my favorite characters in the show, but Deku has grown exponentially from where he was in terms of my character like tier list. Dabi is still my favorite character in this show, bar none. The way that his character was written is so intricately and deeply and emotionally well done. Dabi is going to shock so many of you when we finish telling the tale of this character. And no, that doesn't mean anything necessarily happens to him, but there's so much more to unpack with Dabi slash Toya as we keep moving forward that I'm very excited for those of you who are only watching, the anime to see what that entails, what that covers, and how he's going to have so much more depth brought to him. I don't think he'll ever come back to the good side, mind you, but I think Dabi is someone who can see the error of his ways when proven wrong. Will that happen to an extent where he feels he can atone and come back and hang out for family dinners on Sundays, which are still awkward even without him there because the other siblings were also tortured and their mom was what she was, and Shoto's still trying to make the best of everything. But the Endeavor family, the Todoroki family, is it's a hot mess. It's sloppy, it's chaotic, and it's going to play out fantastically on television. That's all I can say. Like they would be on old VH1 in like the slot where like I Love New York or Flavor Flav, Flavor of Love would have been. It's just trashy television that's super engaging with an audience. Jersey Shore would probably be the best one. Just a bunch of trashy individuals shoved into one place and let all the heinousness come out. Todoroki family, everybody. Welcome to anime. It's a fantastic turnaround, and we're going to see that depths of Dabi's soul, the depths of his heart, his character, his determination, his grit. Tons of more stuff to really delve into with this character that within 3 minutes we'll be able to delve on into. Hulu always has it up first, so friendly reminder, Hulu, probably the place to go check out. Crunchyroll seems to be 15, 20 minutes behind every single time on their release time. I don't know why. I don't know how. They're on time for Kaiju number 8, but as far as My Hero, they're usually a little bit late. So if you're in the United States, I would recommend Hulu because they've really stepped up their anime game and has been an absolute blessing for all of us who are diehard anime fans like myself. Going to be great to see this Todoroki family and all the drama involving them brought to life on screen here within 2 minutes. We already have the episode name up. The episode name is called Two Flash Fires. 11 years ago, Toya Todoroki was burned by his own flames and became Dabi, my favorite character and all of My Hero and one of my favorite anime characters, period. Vegeta is my favorite, hence the M on the hat. Carry on here. Todoroki faces Dabi's blue flames with a new move of his own. Will he be able to stop his brother? Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode of Dragon Ball Z. My voice sounds nothing like his. His voice was so freaking amazing, that voiceover guy. But no, stay tuned for scenes from My Hero Academia. MHA, one of the big three, and people who are sleeping on this anime, well, we're 7 seasons in, baby, and it's still going strong, still being amazing, still going to continue to be one of the best out there, regardless if the fanfare has died down a little bit, just because people seem to get exhausted with shows that last longer than 5 seasons because everyone's like, I want to be here for the new It show. I want to be here for Jujutsu Kaisen when it drops. And as you should, Jujutsu Kaisen is mwah, it is immaculate. Chef's kiss. Favorite anime maybe of all time. But this anime super slept on, super disrespected, super fantastic. I am just exceptionally blessed to be up here talking with you, the viewers. Going to be able to talk and share all things geek with you guys. We have My Hero Academia now, Kaiju number 8 in the morning, and then tomorrow, Demon Slayer live stream with myself and Will. You guys are here to see Will. His commentary is better. And then me and Will will be talking for all things involving the House of the Dragons. So if you haven't hit that follow button or hit that subscribe button, easiest way to keep track of everything we got going on here at Geek Variants on our quest for 1,000. The episode is in fact up, as I let everyone know who's here. Will not be streaming because we don't have legal rights, permission from authorities to do so. Don't mean to let you guys down. Just want to make sure that you guys can watch it with someone who's maybe willing to risk their channel for legal rights authorities and permissions to do stuff like that. I'll still be talking about the episode as it happens, and you'll get the recap early. So just letting everyone know, episode 8 is live on Hulu. This opens up with the police station. Make this full screen. What am I doing? This is my first time watching anime. Episode is up. Share right here. Boop. There we go. So you guys don't have to keep asking where it's at. It's less guards. It's obvious. Who is in there? Is that Stain hiding? Nope. It's the mad doctor. He was so incredible last season. For seeds born warped. Warp seeds worthy of being vessels. And then the opening. Which, while I enjoy it, I kind of want to skip it just so we can get to the action. I've been waiting for the Todoroki fight for a long, long time. Because in the anime, I'll say it is one of the best things out there. There we go. Now we can see any facial expressions that I have pertaining to this episode. It's going to be popping, folks. Being here early for the recap is always best. That way you can kind of skip the recap episode that I record afterwards. You guys get it early and first. So it's going to be a great time. And of course, Disney's advertising on Hulu, and they're showing only Mandalorian things because, well, the Acolyte should be called a bunch of Acco shit because it is just the worst thing that television has ever had happen. Also, I'm assuming everyone in this costume in this room is just insanely hot for this commercial. Apple now has precision finding, meaning they can find you when they want to. Why do I have diaper commercials? Like what? I'm not that's not what I do. Come on. I just need to like not be cheap and just buy the commercial free stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I can't justify using Hulu for literally one thing and paying for the commercial free. You know what I'm saying? Also, isn't this alien kind of adorable? Nope, just me. Toxic chemicals are endangering wildlife. Yeah, well, I'm in the United States, baby. What was a commercial about vaping? Oh no. Stay safe, everybody. Come on, let's skip through the commercials. You don't need 20 minutes worth of commercials for like 5 minutes worth of action. They had Shohei there for like all of 2 seconds. There we go. Brother fight. Oh, Toya, you are so far gone. Like you're literally melting part of your face off. The flames won't go out. To go to peak on your next day off because he wanted to just prove himself to his dad. Instead, Endeavor was the white trash abusing dad of the century. So, just typical terrible self. Hmm. Why doesn't your dad love you, Toya? Well, it's because Endeavor is a POS. And then he realized that his emotions trigger the flames, and well, Yeah. The more upset he is, the hotter it burns. Because they're still showing it. Because his literal skin is just melting off. Yeah, I probably started with the water early. A child who was born warped. Todoroki and Dabi have, well, not Todoroki, Shigaraki and Dabi have a lot in common in that regard. A lot of darkness in them. Who was that individual? The hat, was that Endeavor? Chilling? Why is he trying to look like Endeavor's part of the mob? Hmm. Toya, sleepyhead, hurry up and get better. Oh, Toya, you had such a terrible life. Mr. Sunny. Is this my voice? He slept for, let's see, 3 years? 3 freaking years? No, he was asleep. How much of his life he lost. Oh, mm. And then, like, to wake up and your family's not there. This is your new family. You were given up. They probably just had work and didn't come. I'm sure he's worried. I'm pretty sure he signed the papers. Toya, poor guy. You have to feel on some level for him as he's going through this. Fortunately, I don't think that can happen anymore. The word that body was extremely hard to repair. There he is, the real master manipulator himself. Regenerative tissue. But even so, you survived. You can't use your power. Damage to your organs. Hmm. The psychological warfare, they got him early. It's, it's like he was just a kid. He just wanted to be accepted by his parent. That was it. I don't want to learn from anyone else. The only one who can teach me is, yep. So it begins. It's too late for us to lead him to our cause. Even the man ruled over everything. Wow. Couldn't take over his advantage of his obsession. A seedbed of fierce hatred. Vessels for the demon lord. Dang. Strong verbiage there. How far? Wait, what? This one cop walking by is like getting all this information. Dobby lives outside of everyone's discernment, understanding, or judgment. He lives as an individual, willing to do his best for himself. Because his dad, well, did a little bit of psychological damage that's irreparable. memories you have as a child can live with you forever. So things are going to be interesting. Why was Dobby brought back? But you know, watching a living corpse gave me an idea of what you guys want of me. Yeah, that's how he refers to Shigaraki. They are adapting the anime one for one. That's so good. It's fantastic. Dobby and Darth Maul are eerily similar. Hatred really drove them for everything they did. Everything. Big, small, indifferent. Must have hoped that there have been change. Hmm. He literally got all the way into the house and he watched everything happen with Shoto. Yo, so dark. That's newer. I like it. He's lost all feeling physically. Hmm. Dobby's plan for straight up vengeance. Hmm. Being a passionate individual tends to help you get to where you want to be. He's melting the All Might statue. And there's Shoto, who's like, calling his brother an idiot. Their family love is just fantastic. As we're back on commercials, guess that's just the way they roll. Got to love it. This episode so far off to a fantastic start. Sure, the action has been non existent. However, the amount of plot and subtext that they're adding when they finally start throwing down is going to be that much more powerful and impactful for everyone. So that's going to be great when we finally get that level of payoff. Until then, well, how does chat feel about Toya now that they understand the depths of pain, torment, and agony that he went through? Because I know how I feel about it, but I also read ahead because once you start liking a show enough, you start buying the books. Next thing you know, you start reading through them. You start picking out favorite characters, and the rest, as they say, is history. So, very, very excited to see when this fight kicks it into high gear because Dobby is prepared to die. He's willing to do anything to ensure that Endeavor's legacy is marked as nothing short of failure, as it should be. But taking out Shoto to do it, not very popular decision with the fandom. It should have been Dobby fighting Endeavor in my mind. But the fact they made Shoto try and do this is that's tough. Fighting your father's battles is not something you should always have to do. And now it begins because he's willing to die for this straight up. Don't get the wrong idea. Oh, I forgot he hates him as much. This is My Hero Academia. That is what this is, Kobe. If you're expecting the episode, I'd let everyone know early on that we don't have legal rights, permissions, or authorities in order to do this. I'm watching on Hulu. Hulu has it always early, Rishi. Hulu's got it early. Crunchyroll's usually 15 minutes late, so it may be dropping just now. As far as free sources, I don't know any, unless other people are streaming it. No problem, guys. No problem. Always appreciate jumping on in the stream. And the brothers, wow, he was fast. Hmm. And that is a straight left hook. Hmm. He's- He is whooping. So far, day's been good. Rishi, no complaints. No complaints whatsoever. Always a great day to stream with the Geek Variant community. And Dobby is taking out all of his issues with Endeavor on Shoto, and Shoto's just kind of taking it. He's being punched around the entirety of the room. Because one is exceptionally more motivated than the other. Dobby is way more into this. He's being neutralized. Ooh. Shoto, did you do the thing? This family is just messed all the way up. Hmm. Wow. The fact Shoto literally asked for this assignment, though, is the wildest thing. Because, like, why in the world would you ask to face your. I've read the manga. I know where everything's going. I'm just trying not to ruin it for those who may just be only watching along with the anime, Rishi. Because last thing I want to have happen is spoil something for someone who was just going episode by episode. Some content creators do that, and that's entirely their prerogative, but I tried my best not to. Why in the why did we just see teenage butt of all things? The manga is exceptional. It's one of my favorite reads from all manga period. But why in the world did we just see teenage butt straight out the shower? Why? You clouded everybody. Ah, Well, we've seen the king of the class. I guess whatever. I guess that was interesting for somebody. Oh, Ida. Oh, Ida. What a guy. Why in the world? Someone's making flames in front of you, and you're like, your idea is like, let's touch it. Essence of flash fire. I have no idea how hard it would be to control like flame in one hand and ice in the other, and then have them perfectly like intersect. I would have like set myself on fire or like froze my fingers off. Like I don't know how many times. But if I had to pick a quirk, I would definitely be Dobby's quirk of fire. Even though there's definitely stronger quirks, just personal preference. Let's freaking get it, Shoto. Let's see what you got. Phosphor is the name of the move. Yeah, Dobby is literally a one trick pony, but he's incredible as a one trick pony. There's the action. There we go. I think Dobby's kind of realizing that Shoto is the culmination of all of Endeavor's work and everything he was supposed to be, which would only just amplify the rage burning within him. He is melting concrete with his flames. Insane. Mm-mm. Goodbye, side characters. It's a waste of energy. Yeah. You shouldn't even bother being here. But I mean, you bought him time, so. And back to commercials. Yeah, 1500 degrees Celsius. That's wild. Like, how in the world does anyone produce anything half of that heat? Like, that's just absurd to even think or comprehend how anything like that can happen. And Dobby just is breathing it right out his fingertip. Well, not breathing out his fingertip, shooting it out his fingertips. So that's something. It's like, why did you even bring the other characters if they weren't you knew they weren't gonna be able to withstand the heat? Like, Endeavor should have been here. I know they wanted him to match up with All for One, but, like, at a certain point, like, we have to admit Endeavor versus All for One is a horrible matchup. We're just having a villain versus a villain, and that Hawks is really gonna have to do the heavy lifting in that battle. Because All for One's plan, fantastic all the way through. Very, very few things went wrong or went unaccording to plan at any time. Let's end these commercials. Yeah, there's not gonna be much left of anybody after this situation. There's like very little you can do at this point. Probably have like another 3 minutes worth of content overall in this episode, and then I'll be getting to the credits. Oh yeah, no full complaints at all. Come on, Shoto, put it all together, my guy. This is your time to shine. Can you save your family? Still can't believe we had to see Ida, but I'm so upset about that. Does Mount Lady even have a signature move, or does she just sit on people? Like, not really calling that a quirk, but like I'm sure there's people in the fandom who would be like, "I'm ready." Heck of a punch, Shoto. That's a great shot right there. That's a great shot. They're basically punching each other with the hatred that their father instilled in them. If they just had competent parents, happy home. None of this happens. They're still fighting all for one, but I mean, they wouldn't have been pawns in this. And we have a winner. Straight up slept him. The visuals slapped. It was a fantastic episode visually. They did an outstanding job putting everything together. I'm going to let everybody know we are in the recap stages of this episode. So anyone wandering in doesn't get surprised by stuff that have been already ongoing and has happened. So without further ado, voila, it is recap time. And we finally got to delve more into the issues pertaining to the Todoroki family. We finally got to see what happened with Toya. Toya basically snapped and then had to dive into the lake after he caused this giant, insane fire. What he doesn't necessarily know is his family did, in fact, go looking for him. They tried to go find him, they tried to go rescue him from everything that happened. Unfortunately, they didn't get there first. Things took a drastic turn. We ended up seeing everything that panned out with Dobby basically waking up a couple years later. It's been just an absolute. What's up, Ari? Welcome back in. Nice to see you after last week. This episode was definitely chills for sure. The animation that they did throughout this episode, the storytelling that happened, the battle that happened. Sure, the battle was like less than 5 minutes, but back in the day, like when YouTube was like early on, the people who made AMV videos together and slapped those together, this is going to be a really nice edit for someone who's going to make like a short or a TikTok about this and like the battle of the family. But this was an absolute banger of an episode. Dobby being attempted to be brainwashed should show you kind of the level of power in which he does in fact have. All for One saw something in him that he could have been the backup plan if Shigaraki just didn't pan out. Unfortunately for All for One, Dabi is too loose of a cannon. The psychological factors that are going on in his messed up little brain are just so dark and twisted and maniacal and some of the worst things that you could possibly imagine that he couldn't be corrupted by the most diabolical person within the My Hero verse. You know why? Because the true diabolical villain of all, Endeavor, broke this child to the point that it's irreparable damage. Even with, Shoto having this exceptional outing. This is huge for Shoto fans. This is huge for Shoto in general. This is a fantastic thing to see from a character development perspective on their behalf. You very, very rarely get to see characters fully develop on camera because usually it's like a little bit of a hey, here's a little bit of a throwback thing. Here's kind of like a Rocky montage. We'll do some quick edits, some quick cuts, whatever the case may be. And then boom, next thing you know, Goku has ascended past this new level and it's somehow a different color. Oh, and I cannot agree with that one, Rishi, but hey, that is your opinion. I'm sure you feel very strongly about that in your own reasons, and I would be fascinated to know why you think Endeavor has redeemed himself. I still don't think the count of abusing your wife, torturing your wife, uh, beating up your kids, torturing your kids, and then turning your kids into psychological weapons that you wanted to have, take out your ultimate rival because you were too weak to do so is manly or heroic whatsoever. And then the fact that the best he can do is I'm sorry and then still not be there for the battle versus his own son that he caused this to happen. Can't be with it. Just can't be with it. But at the same time, I respect your opinion. Just that's my personal take on everything. He's not a no one's saying he's a perfect character, but he has taken steps. And he was willing to die fighting the Nomu as the world's number one hero, which was a significant step for him. No one's going to sit here and say it wasn't. Shoto's part was so good. Bones did an amazing job at the animation. Yes. Yes, they did. And everyone who was saying that this animation style was terrible from Jump, where are you at now? It's really quiet in here because the animation has been slapping. It has been fantastic start to finish. There's not like any time where like say if you ever watched old school Yu-Gi-Oh, by the end there, I want to say like season 5, season 6, you could tell some of the animators had just checked out. They could not have cared less what was going on. Anytime there's a background character, flimsy as hell, terribly done. Didn't look all that good, all that well put together. Every single shot from My Hero, I have yet to see stuff or a freeze frame of stuff where you're like, yeah, that's not going to age well, or that doesn't look all that good right here, right now. Instead, things have continued to be crisp. They've continued to be clean. They've continued to be fantastic. The storytelling is good. Dobby's glare at the doctor is fantastic. It's the perfect side that we could definitely see here. Oh yeah, it's very hard to recreate individual styles because like I've seen it even with Jujutsu Kaisen. Mappa is doing fantastic work whatever they're doing. I still think people need to kind of give the animators a break. I think their working conditions are inhumane, but that's coming from a United States perspective. I don't know the Japanese working conditions or working classes or how things are supposed to be handled over there, what is considered inhumane over there. So I can't speak too intelligently or factually on it. I just think that from what they're being portrayed as, I think Mappa should get a little bit of time off. But sometimes translating Jujutsu Kaisen's writing and animation style directly over in some of those fights, it's going to be hard for them to do. It's going to not be the easiest to do as we move forward towards the culling game arc, which, if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. No spoilers from me. Not going to go on a tangent there because if I start talking Jujutsu Kaisen, we'll be here a good long while. And I'd still love to be able to do the recap at a semi reasonable hour. But like this episode was great for Dabi. It was great for Toya. It will one and the same. And it was great for Shoto in the sense that he's going to be able to get some closure as far as things are concerned involving his family. Being able to at least bring Dabi back into the fold, I think for him is huge. I think he'll consider that a fantastic year. And yeah, it's been one of the best years of anime, just period. You could list so many titles, whether it be Windbreaker or My Hero or Demon Slayer. Hell's Paradise is rumored to come back. Solo Leveling debuted this year. Solo Leveling's coming back in the fall. Like My Hero Academia is having a movie in August. Like things are just cooking on so many different levels right now. Chainsaw Man's rumored to come back in the fall as well. Black Clover, we had some hope that there's going to be something by November. It looks like it's not going to be this year, if at all, because I think Black Clover is back on a hiatus again, writing wise. I know Jujutsu Kaisen's on hiatus, and then I think My Hero was on a quick hiatus as well, for like a 2-week one, as far as writing was concerned. So there's so much good stuff coming out as far as anime. And then next year, gaming is supposed to just be absolutely popping off, obviously, with starting off with Grand Theft Auto. So here on the channel, there's going to be so many exciting things. I'm just pumped to be able to be one of the people being able to share, the content that I enjoy and the content that I love with you, the viewers. You guys bring so much more enjoyment to these things than just me sitting here talking. I can talk to this camera all the live long day. To be honest, it's kind of boring. Like I hear myself talk all day long. It's not as exciting as you'd hoping it would be. It's as crazy as you'd expect it to be because there's just so much content between. Because we cover Marvel, we cover DC, we cover Lord of the Rings, we cover anime, cover gaming, cover Star Wars. So it's like there's so much stuff to like really delve into this year that we are just absolutely swamped with things to do. And then Kaiju number 8, we didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about Windbreaker as well for animes. So it's like there's stuff that is just popping off left, right, and center. And I'm sure I missed a ton of other things that are going on. Star Wars was doing pretty good at the start of the year, and then the Acolyte happened. Don't want to talk about that. House of the Dragons came back. The Rings of Power is coming back. I think we're going to have The Last of Us either in the fall or in the beginning of next year. So it's like we're going to have on The Boys. How could I even like not mention The Boys? So like it's just going to just be an insane time. I don't know like canon wise where they're just gonna drop like that timeline piece for My Hero. Like where in the world are you going to be able to wedge that in organically to where it works and doesn't really infect too much of the canon part of the story? It was kind of like when Black Clover announced its movie. I was like, where the heck are we going to wedge a movie in that's going to make sense for everybody and everything? So we're not like looking at Asta like later on, be like, you never had that, or you should have had this, and you just didn't use this for this part. Like, this is a whole straight up one off thing. It's kind of like how Yu-Gi-Oh would like just jump times so things could make it make sense. And then they come back to the current time. It's like, well, I guess it was like a card that got sent to another dimension kind of thing. So they'd have their out here. So it's like going to be super, super interesting to see the development that these movies show, because Demon Slayer right now, it hasn't been 100% announced, but it's about 75% announced that the Infinity Castle arc is going to be 3 movies, which I think it should be because everything going on in the battle, because you have Akaza, you have Doma, you have, oh my gosh, the number 1 demon whose name Kokushibo, I think, and then Muzan. So it's like there's so much stuff to like really get into, like where all the Hashiras fit into things. It's going to be mind blowing to try and just see that fully animated, because Demon Slayer's been cooking and their arc, relatively, if you think about it, very little has happened. If we had a whole movie about Vigilante State, it would be, all the fans would look at him and be like, what the heck is going on? Yep, Demon Slayer is going to be 40 to 60 minutes this week, which we will have a live stream this Sunday morning. Myself and Will be on for that one, so that'll get all the great coverage you're expecting. Will has tons of the Demon Slayer Hashira swords in the background, so if you jump on in and take a look there, you'll be able to see some of the nice collection that he has gotten started there. And then once we're done with that, later on that day, House of the Dragons, because episode 1 had me in shambles. I was not like, I know most of the books of what's going to happen, but as far as being able to fully live through that episode, that was a sucker punch to the nuts if I've ever seen an episode for it. And then as far as everything else we have going on, this channel has been absolutely popping thanks to you guys. Thank you so much. Friendly reminder, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Easy way to keep on following up with us. We have the Acolyte, we have the Boys, we have My Hero Academia, Kaiju number 8, Demon Slayer, and House of the Dragons. just to cover some of the basic stuff that we do, not even pertaining to Fallout 4 live streams that I do with you guys, the viewers. And we have the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, which some of the goodies like these Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some Funko Pops, some other figures, and maybe even a statue or two for that 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So want to make sure we give back to you because you have given so much to us. Remember, subscribe button is free, follow button also free. Trying to our best to hit 1,000 by the end of summer. We don't hit it, hey, is what it is. We appreciate each and every one of you who has come along for the ride and has made Geek Variants a great place to be a geek with other like-minded geeks. We may not always agree on things, but I love having dialogues with things. Like Rishi, he thinks Endeavor's been redeemed. Absolutely fine. You should try watching Code Geass, amazing series. It's on my to-do list. Code Geass is something I need to take a look at. I need to watch Windbreaker. That was recommended to me early on, and I was like, I don't think we'll have time in the schedule. Turns out I had time in the schedule, but by the time like everything's been going on, we got one more episode left. So have a good one, Rishi. Have a great rest of your night. Appreciate you checking in, hanging out with us. And then we also try and make sure we got you guys with daily shorts to laugh at because I try and, keep things light, have a good all time laughing with each and every one of you. This episode was another fantastic breakdown. I had such a great time with you guys here. Ari, thanks for coming on out. I wish we had more of you in this season, so definitely understand everything involving that. See you, Rishi. See you. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you guys for Demon Slayer. All your great analytics and insight on that, so we can talk about all things Infinity Castle and just confuse Will because he doesn't know what's going on. That being said, I'm going to slowly start to wrap things up here. Start to get late. I want to get that breakdown episode done for you, the viewers, because we at Geek Variants like to be the first ones to have all things recapped for you. Again, subscribe button, greatly appreciated. It's free. Follow button, also free if you are over on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for making this stream great. I will see you in the next episode, which will be Demon Slayer. Thanks so much, guys. Peace.